back to the PAYbook, hosted by yours truly, Peyton Sutton. Today we have a special guest for episode 6. So we have Nasheema Anderson. Now, her basketball career is very extensive. Not only did she play in high school, let's just throw in a little tidbit here, she had her jersey retired at her high school. Moving forward, she also went to Vanderbilt in college, did amazing things there. Moving forward, she also played for the American Basketball League. So a lot of experience through thin and out. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for coming to the podcast. So to start off, I just want to kind of take things not necessarily too far back, but let's start maybe in the college era, okay? So how does it feel looking back at all the accomplishments that you've achieved?
It's terrific. I feel accomplished. I feel like I've helped pave the way for what we are experiencing now in this NIL era. So back when I played, we didn't have those things. They didn't exist, but they were definitely dreams come true now that the young ladies do have that. So it feels accomplished to be able to say that I helped pave the way for what we have now.
For sure. You kind of already sparked my next question. It was going to be, what is the major differences that you kind of see from when you were playing and to now? Like you mentioned, the NIL deals is a huge thing now.
Yes. So I think the major difference is the NIL deals, the way that the kids travel now with AAU basketball, and just the exposure. Now that you can start talking to coaches early,
Right.
They can see you on videos, they can see you on your Instagram, they can see you on huddles. We didn't have those things back when I played. So the way that the different methods that coaches and colleges can now see players is extraordinary.
Definitely understand that. So moving back towards you, what kind of kept you motivated throughout all the years? Because you played basketball for quite some time.
I did. So basketball was an outlet. I grew up on Cleveland's east side, where a lot of kids don't make it out of the area. So I wanted to prove that I had something to prove, that I wanted to not only be able to come back and support my community, but to be able to come back and have me be somebody that my community could be proud of. Although I lived in the Glenville area, I did not attend Glenville. I went to a Catholic school where basketball was a staple. And so I think that kind of motivated me to, I'm the oldest of 4, so to show my younger siblings what it looked like to be challenged and succeed in that challenge. I had to overcome a lot of obstacles when I was growing up. Spent a lot of time with my grandmother because my mom had to work multiple jobs to make ends meet. Came from a single parent home, so my mom was my primary caregiver along with my brother and my 2 sisters. And so just living for somebody other than me. I'm significantly older than my siblings, and so they had to have somebody that they could look up to and be proud of. And I'm happy to say I think that I did a good job, but I guess only time will go.
Yeah, I definitely understand. So you would kind of say where you came from basically shaped who you are today. Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely.
I got you.
Yeah.
So going forward, what kind of does success look like for you now?
Yeah, I think success looks like for me is that when I got done with college, that in my playing days, that there was something that I could fall back on. You always hear people say, you need to get your degree because the ball's going to stop bouncing one day, and that truly happened. The ball really stopped bouncing for me at a time that I wasn't ready for it to stop bouncing, and so I had to get into gear, and I needed to fall back on my education and what I had accomplished and achieved getting my degree from Vanderbilt. So I went into the workforce early on after playing in the ABL. So I needed to put that degree right to work expeditiously.
Yep, 100%. So do you mind me asking what kind of led to the end of the basketball career?
Yeah, for sure. So the ABL folded a couple of days before Christmas in 1990 and 1999. It was the American Basketball League was the only professional women's basketball league at the time. Shortly thereafter, the WNBA started. But it was the only one that was full-time. The WNBA played in the summer, and the ABL played in the regular season. And so I had already had a child, so it was important to me to have my summers off because school was off. So transitioning to the WNBA right after the ABL folded was not ideal for me. And it kind of broke my heart after the ABL folded. Like I said, it was a couple of days before Christmas. You know, I had just moved into a new condo, bought a new car, you know, all the things that you do when you get your first paycheck. And then to have that suddenly taken away was catastrophic. It was devastating because you had to, you know, pull yourself up by the bootstraps and, you know, go head first onto all the things that you learned. And I think that basketball really taught me how to overcome adversity, you know, playing with different teammates, how to lead, and how to find my way and find myself. There was many times playing, you know, high school and college basketball where you feel like you lose yourself and you don't, you know, you're looking for a leader and that leader is you. And I needed to do that when the ABL folded. So it was a wake-up call, but it really was beneficial because I do think that it helped me be able to foresee things and help my children foreshadow or predict things well before it happens. And I think it also taught them to save. So when you get those big tips, don't go out and buy a new condo and a new car
all at once. So you would say your experience has kind of helped you maybe mold your children, specifically Naz, since she is following in your footsteps. Did it help you with your experience?
Yeah, I think that it did. It helped me with my experience. It helped me parent in a way that was different than what I grew up, you know, because my mom was very strict. You know, we had rules and curfews. You know, we had a lot of adversity growing up where I think that I shielded my kids from that. I tried to protect them from ever having any, you know, adversity or have any difficulties. I think that's probably where a lot of our parents are. A lot of, you know, people that are my age where we are now, we don't want our kids to have to go through some of the things that we went through, so we shield them from that. And so I think that it definitely helped me because I had some really hard coaches and I had some really hard parenting, and I was like, do I really have to be that hardcore in order to get my kids to achieve greatness? And I think that it takes a little bit of both, a little bit of, you know, a whole lot of love and a little bit of discipline. So I'm definitely not the disciplinarian, but my kids didn't need that.
I got you. So that kind of, yes. And so, speaking of being a parent, especially to a child or a woman that has so much potential, what is your advice to parents that are going through the same exact thing? They don't necessarily know how to be there for their kid when they're going through these patches, but they also have a lot of experience, just like you said.
You know, that's a really good question. I get asked that a lot. A lot of people ask me a lot of different questions about, you know, recruiting, the WNBA, free agency, you know, picking an agent. And what I would say, what I give my best advice to people is everybody can't sit at your table. Everybody is not at your level, and people and parents really need to figure out what level their child is at. You know, everybody sits with rose-colored glasses on. You know, my kid's elite, my kid's this, and my kid's that, which very well may be true. But I think having people around you that are really committed and telling you the truth, and not just pacifying you and telling you what you want to hear. I think that's the part that's detrimental to the generation now, is that we have so many people sitting at their table that do not mean the best for our children. And sometimes that means just sitting quietly and just doing your own list of pros and cons, because everybody thinks that they know what's best for you and your child. And I think that when you're strong in what your beliefs are and what your desires are, then you should be making that decision for your child. You know, it's not the coach, you know, it's not the agent. And I think that that's the best advice that I could give to someone, is to, once you figure out what your child's dedication and their potential is, to really hone in on who's sitting at your table, because everybody doesn't have a seat at your table. Everybody shouldn't have a seat at your table, and everybody is not at your child's level. And I think that I learned that early on. I had a lot of people people gravitate to me early on because they were like, "Oh, Naz is going places," and I was like, "Naz may be going places, but we're not all going there. We're not. We might not be in the. We're not going the same place. We all have the same end destination." But I think I was able to really share some insight with people on really evaluating and self-evaluating where their child is and what their potential is. So I try not to sit with rose-colored glasses on, but I definitely know that that's in all of us.
100%. A lot of the times, like you said, some parents have so much, I don't even know the word to describe it, but they have so much, trust in just their child, and which is great. We love that. But it's also to the point where they're kind of blindsided by their potential, that they're not recognizing what's here and what's now. And you have to adapt to what's going on and what your kid is actually capable of. So I definitely understand on that end. So kind of moving the conversation back to you.
Okay.
Yes, let's go ahead and talk about, what would you describe your playing style as? What were the major things that you did as a player that made you stand out?
Yes. So there was not a rebound that was in my wheelhouse that I did not get. I rebounded the ball very well. I was very fast. I could get up and down the floor very, very quickly. So I love me a good fast break, and I love to rebound. Funny story is my mom, people know my mom's voice. She has a very distinct voice because she will yell from the stand to rebound. Yes. And everybody knows it. And so rebounding. And, defense wins championships. Offense, wins games, but defense wins championships. And I think that, being strong defensively and being willing to be a team player, I think that was something that was really instilled in me early on. So it's there's no I in team, but there is an I in win. But so you have to realize which one of those is most important to you. So I think rebounding was my biggest strong suit. I think that defense and getting up and down the floor on that fast break was something that people really will remember me for.
So I'll just name a few of your accomplishments. I know you may not like all that, but I got to give you all the love and attention because you are an amazing player. You were named All-American. Once again, like I stated before, your jersey was retired at your high school. You were named Gatorade Player of the Year at a certain point. You were in the Ohio High School Hall of Fame. I mean, it just continues. So with all that being said, there's a stigma around, oh, I have to have the most points or people aren't going to notice me, or whatever the case may be. But it seems like you really stuck to your strengths, and you expanded upon that, and you have everything, all awards to back you up. So what do you tell to the people and athletes that are going through the different changes in games, high school to college, whatever level they're at, that it doesn't always have to be specific about points and stats? It literally just takes that grit, that want to get that win.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. I think that what I would tell young folks is it's not about the points. It's not about who starts the game. It's all about who's on the floor at the end of the game or who's on the floor at crunch time. And where do you fit in to a system? And that's where you excel at. When you understand your niche or what you're good at. I wasn't the high scorer. I wasn't I wasn't the best player on the team all the time. But my work ethic and my hard work and my dedication is what people saw. I never took a play off. I don't care if we were winning by 50 or 40 or 10. I never took a play off. It was instilled in me that when that jump ball goes up, and as long as there's time on that clock, you are giving it your all. And that's just what I believed in, and that's what and that's how I am that way now. Like even at work, people are like, "Oh my God, you just never stop working." That's just what has been ingrained in me. Attention to detail and hard work and dedication will propel you to the greatest heights.
Do you see similarities in your game and Naz's? I mean, I have my own opinion, but let's hear it from you.
Yeah, so we're very different. We have very different body styles. Naz is super strong. I've never met somebody as strong as Naz. I was not. I was very lean and very thin. I think I probably was faster than her. And like I said, there's not a rebound that I would not go for. I was a tenacious rebounder. And Naz, of course, has expanded her game. Now,
yes. She's them threes.
I think between high school and college, I probably took no threes. That's just where I was. I was more of a Dennis Rodman type player. I was a rebounder and put it back on the board, or I would put a nice post move on you, up and under, or spin move. And so that was my game and my style. I think that people always say that Naz and I look alike. They see some similarities in her, but I think our games are totally different. I think that I would beat her if we played one-on-one when I was in my prime. I know she hates that, but it's true.
You sound like me and my sisters. Both point guards, totally different games. She was the shooter, and I was the driver. I'm a penetrator. I mean, hey, but I'm going to say I'm going to win every time. I'm going
to win every time.
Yes.
Just a couple of them shots, and I'm going to rebound it and put them back up.
And you heard it. So what was the first thing that kind of went to your mind as a mother when you saw the potential that Naz truly had? Like, you're like, wait a minute, okay, she gonna go some places.
It's pride. Naz comes from a generation of family, a generation of basketball players. So it was inevitable. It was instilled in her from a little girl. But a lot of times we didn't. Naz didn't know anything about me. She didn't find out. She found out about me and who I was from other people. And so she came home one day and she was like, "Mom, what's the All-American?" And so somebody kept telling her, they're like, "Oh my God, your mom's an All-American. Like, she's the greatest." And she's like, "She's just Mom." Yeah. And so since that day, it intrigued her to ask questions and find out more. But she's always been such a hard worker and such a brilliant kid. I would say, I want to go back to a little bit of your question earlier when you said, what are some of the similarities? But I would say some of the differences are too. Naz's IQ for basketball is off the charts. And she can see plays far ahead of them happening and see them developing. And I would say that was not something that I was very strong. That's not a strong suit of mine. So when I saw her potential, we leaned into it. We set her up with the best trainers, tried to put her on the best AAU programs, sent her to the best schools, to get not only a great education but have the opportunity to compete for for a state championship. Me and my siblings all have state championships, and we would tease her when she was little that she couldn't sit at the big championship table with us because she didn't have a state championship. So I have one. I have a sister that has 4. My brother has 1. And so now Naz does. So me and all my siblings have state championships. And my brother has a national championship, and so that's where everybody was striving to get to, is to that national championship. So some have come close, but no takers. My brother's the only one that has a national championship. But Naz has some credentials that only her and my brother have. Naz has several gold medals, and I unfortunately was picked to play on one of the U.S. Olympic teams, but I unfortunately didn't play, but she did. And so there's something that's another difference, that she has several gold medals in the Junior Olympics, and I don't have any of those.
Nice. You love to see your blood doing big things.
Yeah, doing things. So I'm so proud of her.
Oh, well, she couldn't have done it without the mama that you are.
I thank you.
Of course. So my last question, kind of to round everything in. So taking it back a little bit, you did mention how you do a lot of community outreach, considering you came from wherever you came from, probably a smaller town, I'm assuming.
No, I came from a big city. I'm from Cleveland.
Oh, you're from Cleveland?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were
from Cleveland.
Okay, Cleveland girl. So still like to do community outreach. Love that. But most recently, you are the CEO of Coast to Coast, which is an organization that basically does showcase events, help players get to where they want to be, or at least improve.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
what kind of sparked that idea?
Yeah, so it comes from when Naz was graduating from the University of Michigan. I was so sad.
Mm-hmm.
I went to every one of her home games at the University of Michigan. I traveled to all of her games, and I didn't know what I was going to do with myself at the end of her basketball career.
Uh-huh.
So I decided that I could combine my two loves.
Mm-hmm.
I could combine watching women's basketball and destination vacations.
Oh.
So I host destination basketball tournament at Thanksgiving and Christmas. And so I bring high-level basketball teams, Division I, and we compete. And when I tell you I am in heaven watching these young ladies compete, the WNBA coaches come and watch them. It's live stream. We have great sponsors that are behind it. You know, in the last couple of years, women's basketball has really taken off. I've had some incredible teams come and play in these tournaments, and I could not be more proud of the product that we put out on the floor. It is, you know, it's a year-long commitment to getting all the teams, doing all the coordinating. But in November and December, I am the happiest I've ever been. Besides when it's March Madness and the tournament is getting ready to start. But it's the beginning of the season. It's right when the season is starting, and everybody's trying to find their footing and, you know, getting used to, you know, their teams because they had just started practicing September full speed, and then to have those kind of breakout tournaments around Thanksgiving and Christmas, it lends where families can come and see their players, you know, during those holiday times. And I think it's just a fun environment and atmosphere. So that's kind of what prompted me to do that. And I'm so incredibly grateful that I get to do that I get to continue to be involved in women's basketball because it is near and dear and true to my heart.
Oh, well, I love that. You guys all heard it here first with Plays with Pay. Once again, thank you, Nasheema, for coming out and talking to us. Make sure you guys tune in next time with Plays with Pay, where hustle turns into highlights.